Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC live match reactions Talking Town on a Sunday afternoon. I'm, of course, your host, the Gov. Thank you for joining me, whether you're watching this with us live on the Sunday lunchtime, Sunday evening, Monday afternoon, Tuesday, whenever you're watching it. Thank you for joining us. Hit the like button and subscribe. And, of course, if you are on catch-up, FTA, comment for that algorithm. Let us know how you're feeling after yesterday's 2-1 defeat. Are we over it? Are we still processing it? I'd love to get some comments in the live. Well, I've got many comments already in the live comment box, but please do keep them in. Charlie says, defense is just not good enough for a top 2 finish. Stephen was, we are annoyed, agreed, but are still having a great season and lots to play for no matter what. Nobody's winning every game. Very true, Stephen. Very true. Lee Bayliss, that last 5 minutes or so was reminiscent of Charlton away last season. Why didn't we hunt for the ball and chase them down instead of inviting them onto us? Whatever you're feeling, get your comment in. And I'll try and get through as many as I possibly can. Don't forget, Talking Town is proud to say we're partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. If you're a sports enthusiast that's looking to support life-saving work while having fun and winning cash prizes, Match Bingo is for you. I know our man Sean has already won some hefty sums of money on Match Bingo. Congratulations, Sean. Anybody else won money playing Match Bingo? Do let us know in the comments. But every time you play, you are also supporting the crucial work of the East Anglian Ambulance. How you play is on your screen right now. It's the various standard way in 2024. You get the app onto your phone, your tablet, your device, whatever you've got, and then away you go. £2 a card, and free Bing goals is available. Over 18s, be gamble aware, and play Match Bingo. There we go. Yeah, let us know if you're playing. Let us know if you're winning. Stephen was a bit annoyed yesterday, but we're still in the hunt. See how it pans out. Dorset Blue, I knew we would lose a couple between now and the end of the season. It's just the manner of how we lost that game. That was a bitter pill to swallow. Mike D, just over 23% of the season to go. Still so much to play for. Well in the mix. Rich has been delayed, ladies and gentlemen, so he'll be with us shortly in approximately 5 to 10 minutes. So beforehand, we're going to sort of mix up the format this afternoon. I know, a little bit new, a little bit of a format change. We're going to jump to a few people with their comments on yesterday, and I'll get Rich on for his in-depth. Well, I'll pull back on the in-depth bit, but we'll get from Rich's comments when he jumps in. We'll start with Stephen, as he was first to click the link. Stephen, you clicked the link. You've processed the game you've said in the chat. How are you feeling today? 2-1, bitter defeat, but what's your overall thoughts? And let us know what you're thinking.
I was angry yesterday. Yeah, don't get me wrong. And I think we all were angry yesterday. You know, it ended up sort of towards the 90th minute like it was a perfect game, perfect away game.
Yeah.
And then we seemed to do the complete opposite to what we did at Bristol City. We started sitting deeper and deeper back. And even when we got that scare about the cross into the box and the ball going over the bar, that didn't light anybody's head up and say, look, we shouldn't be doing this because that could have gone in. Let's try and keep the ball. Let's try and keep control and keep prep. And we didn't do it. We just let them keep passing balls, crossing balls into the box. One was going to burn us eventually. In the end, 2 burnt us.
Yes.
And it's the way it happened. And I think the players will know this. They're not stupid. The players will know and McKenna will know that's not what they should have done. But in the moment, I'm not judging them. I'm not saying they did the wrong thing, because if we hold on, everyone says it's a great performance. We just didn't. Because the simple fact is we've had a great season. No one can dispute that. It's one loss. This club has never won seven top tier 2 games in a row.
No, that's very true.
Maybe that was playing on the minds, So maybe sometimes, like with Leeds, it's best to lose one, because Leeds lost one, and then even when they're not playing at the best, they're winning games back to back again.
Yeah,
maybe you need that in the face to say, look, you cannot do these. You cannot win every game in a row. This is not last season. You're playing good teams who've all got good threats. Leeds went 9 games in a row, and then they stumbled against Huddersfield, and then they've come back firing. Maybe we needed it. Maybe we needed that smack in the face to stop us from being a bit complacent.
Yeah.
And say, look, you've got to fight for everything for 98 minutes or whatever it was. But I do think, if we can all, well, I see a lot of people saying, we should be going for top 2. Let's accept playoffs. If we get better, it's a bonus.
Is that where your mind's now at, is it, Stephen?
That's where my mind, because I do think there are teams who are more consistent than us right now.
Who are they, Stephen? Who are they?
Leeds and Leicester for what?
Yeah. Are they your top 2, are they?
Based off, I know everybody gives Don Goodman a bad rap. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's just looking at the obvious things that we all notice. Yeah. All the independents are looking at it and looking at the obvious things. They've got better players. Yeah. They've got more money. Yeah. And I'm sorry, that has to play a role. I'm trying to take the blue tinted specs off and say, well, I'd love us to get promotion.
Doing a good job.
We still have a chance. Yeah. I'm not saying we're out of it. We've all got a chance. Leicester drew yesterday. They might go on a bad run now. I don't know. I've not got a crystal ball. All I've got is my own gut feeling, that their defenses are better than ours. Yeah. The goal difference doesn't lie. Their goal difference are like 40, ours is like 20 odd.
Because we're very much like a bottom 6 side in terms of defensively, aren't we? I think we look at the goals conceded. I'll have to look at the league table again in a second. But we are poor.
I think we said yesterday. I think we were 4th in goals conceded. 4th bottom in goals conceded.
Yeah.
This is not a detriment. Yeah, to the club, the players, or anyone. Yeah.
Okay.
This is just a fact of the fact that we've risen so fast so soon. Yeah. I know he said that. Mark Ashton said we're building a plane whilst in flight. Yeah, but sometimes there's certain things you've got to land so you can do. You can't put new wings on while you're in flight. You've got to land and put them on. Yeah, so we have to understand that, as we've all said, some of these players are not championship ready. Some of these players are not good at the best, the lower championship players, and we're getting the maximum out of them. Are we ready? I don't want to go up to the Premier League right now with this team. This team gets obliterated in the Premier League. Yeah, if Leicester and Leeds came down from the Premier League, we ain't ready. Yeah, that's and that's.
Leicester haven't beaten us this year, though, Steve. Leicester haven't beaten us this year.
Leeds have.
Yeah, well, Leeds
absolutely pummeled in the Premier League.
Yeah, they
had a better side in the Premier League, and they got pummeled.
But then you're discounting the window. You obviously, if you get promoted, you got that transfer window. You don't know. I mean, Luton are doing really well. I see your point, and it's interesting because you can't win every game. You are fair in that. But before I let you go and bring in Phil, because I want to keep the.
I just want to say one more point about that. Yeah, but then are we not looking at the second Burley season where we have to do a complete rebuild and we went back down anyway because of the team cohesion?
Well, this is it. Yeah, these are things we hope to find out, I guess, because I've never turned down promotion.
I'm not saying promotion's not on the table. Yeah, before people say that, I still want promotion because the money will help. Yeah, all I'm saying is, let's just ease expectations and hope. Say we've got the playoffs and hope for the best.
Okay,
we've always got that chance. Let's hope we get that chance.
Okay, and I asked the 3-word reviews on social media and the YouTube comments after every game, and we've got a whole shed load. And I just want to sort of read a couple out to you, Steve, and I want you just to sort of respond to one. We've got Piss Poor Defending from Johnny Duncan on Twitter, Kev Sherwood, Old Style Ipswich, D Mitchell, Charlton all over again. The Fisherman, total bottle job. What would you say back to the Fisherman in terms of the total bottle job 3-word review there? Bit harsh, I feel.
Probably because there's a lot of players into that, I was saying to Rich said, I said, we don't hold leads well. And Rich said, oh, well, what about all those games we've come back from behind? And say, yeah, but we weren't in the lead. It's easy to come back when you're behind because you've already got nothing. Yeah. We don't hold leads well. And I don't think we should be trying to do what Leeds or Leicester can do is like score a goal and hold one goal. We're not that good at it. Yeah. We saw it at Rotherham. We're not that good at it. We were 3-1 up then. And we tried to hold the lead and it ended up 3-3. And we just about got ourselves out of jail. I don't think we should be playing that way. Maybe tiredness had a role in the fact that they just couldn't do it. They were gassed out because they looked buggered on Tuesday at Bristol, So you could argue that. Yeah, I know Cardiff had played a day later, but I don't think Cardiff were as gassed out as we were to try and get back into that game. So that could play a role. But mental fatigue could have played a role. And at the end of that game, after 90 minutes or 94 minutes, they were just shot. I'd like to give them a week, see how we play. I think next week's game for us is it's not a must win, but it's an important game to win.
Well, you're getting to that stage, though, aren't you, Steve? You are getting to that stage where you don't want to fall too far behind because obviously games are running out. But Steve, I've got to get Phil on. So go on.
All I'm saying is the top two, yes, but I think it's important we win it going into the international break.
Perfect. Stephen, you're a legend as always. Look after yourself, man. All the best. I'll go to Phil Blondell. Phil, I had an issue yesterday with that second goal because I still think Lee Davis is fouled. I've not seen it back, though, so I can't comment fully on it. How did you see yesterday's game? What are your thoughts as today?
Okay, so the first half, I would say it took us longer to get into the game, didn't it? I think the first 25 minutes, Cardiff, certainly in the first half overall, Cardiff were the stronger team. And I did fear a little bit about the game yesterday simply because I was impressed with the way that Cardiff played their football against us early this season at Portman Road, taking the 2-goal lead that they did. I thought this could be a team to watch for this season, and they're not. They're still in the playoff hunts. They're only, I think, 5 or 6 points behind. 4
points, I think it was.
4 points. So they're still in playoff contention, and I think the result yesterday for them is going to give them a real confidence booster. Obviously, we were definitely second best team in the first half. Second half, we grew much more into the game more quickly, and to be honest with you, when Kiefer Moore scored that superb goal about 10 minutes
good goal,
time.
Wasn't it? Really good
superb strike with, that is a difficult goal to pull off. Especially I would say it's just the way that he hit it and the ball bounced in front of the keeper, so it was more difficult for him to save it. For me, that was a superb strike to put us in front, and it was nice to see the Sky cameras on Colin. In sort of almost in tears, hugging his mate.
Almost, I think he was crying. I think he was actually in tears.
I would say, obviously, that was actually one of the games I was actually planning on going to, but I had to change my priorities. So I watched the game in the pub yesterday, and when the second Cardiff goal went in, I was shell-shocked. I thought, and you're absolutely right, for me, that it was a foul on Leif Davis. I thought the referee yesterday was weak overall, the whole game. He wasn't anywhere near as bad as the one we had, near as bad as, the ref we had on, the Bristol City game. But
do you think the players were a little bit shell-shocked?
Yeah.
You say you were shell-shocked. And
I'm
just thinking that last 5 minutes, you got the crowd, as however small they may have been,
There wasn't a lot of fans in the stadium, was there?
No, unless them come dressed
as seats. It wasn't a full out. I thought, usually we pull a big crowd, don't we? Wherever we go.
They all come to see the Ipswich.
Yeah.
But that last 5 minutes, do you feel the players were a little bit shell-shocked somewhat?
Yeah. I think I tend to agree with Steve, and I think, towards the end of games, where we score goals in the last 10, 15 minutes of games is that we go on the front foot, we press teams, we attack teams in that last 10, 15 minutes of the games that we've, the games that we've won. Obviously, good examples, obviously being the Rotherham game, and the Birmingham game as well, because we scored those 2 goals in the last 10 minutes to win it. And we didn't do that yesterday, and it simply for me, I'm saying we've had 2 or 3 game weeks in the last couple of months, haven't we? So it really takes out the players. McKenna does use his subs extremely well. He does have a plan. He usually sticks with it, and it usually works out. But yesterday, from a winning position, we've obviously gained the most points. Winning points when we've fallen behind first. I think it's 28 points, and then yesterday, I think it was just an anomaly. But when you look at the pattern of the games that we've lost this season, we're losing probably around 1 in 8. I think, we lost against Preston back in January. I think it's been about seven games since then. We've won 6 of them, 6 or 6, 7 or 8. And, we've got 9 games left. So I would assume that we'll probably lose 1 more. But when you look at the other teams around us, Leicester dropped points again yesterday. That's only 1 win in 5 games for them. Leeds, yes, they obviously bounced back with that 1-goal win against Stoke the other week.
And then they beat Wednesday, Friday night, which was a really, really good win because Wednesday have been in fine form. Yeah, Leeds.
Yes,
that's the thing, isn't it? You're taking it out of your hands. Somewhat.
Look, I would say we are still in the title hunt. I don't know why people keep saying, "Oh, we've blown it. We're out of title hunt."
Well, Stephen's saying playoffs is what he believes. He'll enjoy top 2, but where are you on it? Because you were top 2 or bust a couple of weeks ago.
I'm still top 2 or bust. But look, I disagree with that comment that Stephen made. Oh, it's playoffs. But no, we're not. Look, we are still in a title race. We're only 4 points behind Leicester. We've played the same amount of games. Okay.
Is that Kevin Keegan?
Look,
they've got to go to Preston. I'd love it if they love it.
No, and look, and those 2 postponements that Southampton have had, or they will have a second postponement later this month because Leicester in FA Cup action. Yeah. So that means that Southampton will probably fall further behind. I would much rather have points on the board than games in hand at this stage in the season, and that's where I think Southampton will show, because they'll have a fixture pile up in April. You know, every team has a lot of games in April, and Southampton will have not 1 but 2 extra games to fit in within that schedule. So that's going to put pressure on their squad of players as well, which might help us, you know. But, you know, we're certainly not out of it. You know, that this negative speak by saying, oh, we're out of it, you know, playoffs at best, you know, we can see, we are conceding too many goals, by the way, but we are scoring bag full of goals.
We are.
And,
we are.
Look, I'm going to say, look, the referee, the second goal that Cardiff scored yesterday should never have been scored, because the referee should have blown at least a minute before they had
time. Before I let you go, Phil, have you got one last thing for me today? Have you got one last thing for me today?
The one last thing is that I really wanted to come on when Richard and Mr. Phillips was on, because I do love talking to those. So I've obviously missed out, and he's obviously being
all right. No. You ask and you shall receive, my friends, because I was moving you on a little bit there because he's just appeared on the bottom of my screen. So
right.
It's not Joshua and Ngannou, but it's still Blondell in the cruncher. Richard Moss.
You're talking utter fucking.
Here he is. He is.
Richard, how did you feel at the full-time whistle yesterday?
I'll tell you how I feel now. I've just had the washing's done, Gov, but I just had lovely roast lamb.
Oh, right.
Oh, so jealous.
Just squeezed it in. How did I feel when, Phil?
At the full-time whistle yesterday.
Obviously, like all of us, a little bit gutted, but I don't agree with you about the referee. I don't think it's a foul on Davis. I've said to Martin, I think he's facing his own goal, and he's in trouble, and he's looking for the free kick. So for me, it's if he gives it, it's a soft one. As far as the time's concerned, it's a minimum of 8 minutes.
Yeah.
There's goal celebrations. There's another substitution. So just got to be better, Phil. Just got to do the job, and we didn't.
Well, you made him go quiet. I wasn't expecting that.
It's one of those, isn't it? I I was absolutely seething after, you know,
You were seething the other night. We just won bloody
3-2.
Yeah, look, this is the thing with me is that, look, when I every home game I go to, I'm not just.
I think you're more angry. I think you're more angry when we win.
That's the second time this season I've been angry when we've won a game, and it's. Look, hang on. It's me being petty, I know, but
apoplectic, I think, was the word after the Rotherham game.
Phil, we appreciate you coming on, my man. It's always good to talk football with you and referee watch.
Where's Mr. Phillips? Where is he?
He's busy with
Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day today.
Oh, right, yeah, Mother's Day.
Phil, we appreciate it, buddy. You look after yourself.
My mum died 3 years ago, so
sorry to hear.
No, I don't have a mum for that.
Big hugs, Phil. Big hugs, mate.
Big hugs. Look after yourself, Phil. All right, all the best.
See you Saturday.
See you Saturday. Yeah, Cruncher, welcome in. It's finally good to speak with you. We have to shift up the format a little bit today because
the washing machine was on in here. You wouldn't want to hear it on the spin cycle, would you?
Bad timing, isn't it? It's bad timing.
Don't blame me.
Just like yesterday. Bad timing. Well, 5 minutes. And Rich, those 5 minutes, I want to start with this sort of big one, really, because I was thinking today, those 5 minutes can be a season changer because you had the 3 points in the palm of your hands. You had destiny in the palm of your hands. And the space of 5 minutes, space of 3 minutes, however long it was, season's flipped. And now it's not in your hands. And you're going to recover from it, haven't you?
Yeah, it's what I said yesterday on the full-time show. You know, you've not got to allow this to derail us because you see at the end there when... Oh, shit, I've just dropped my drink everywhere. I'm having a fucking good time.
He's having a great day.
Don't worry.
You're having as good a day as our back four yesterday, you are.
Don't worry. Yeah, look, I said that they were all shell-shocked, obviously, at the end of the game there. And players, manager, supporters. Kieran's got a... Look, they'll have a day off today, obviously, they'll be reflecting. Like we all are. You know, and we're a little bit more reflective today, and there was probably a little bit of anger yesterday with people. But you always say, don't you, give it 24 hours. And you've got you can use this, flip it, and use it as a positive. Maybe, you know, a driver to don't let it happen again. Kieran said after the game, didn't he, in his post match? You know, we're learning. We're still learning. McKenna's still learning. We've still got a lot of League One players, Gov, who are here last season. You know, and you do get found out in the Championship if you make mistakes. Like we did in injury time, 2 goals that were pretty avoidable. When you look back at them, it's not as though they've cut us open, have they?
No, certainly not. And that last one, but it's sort of, you know, little finer details, you know, which we'll get into a little bit in a moment. But particularly in the season sort of line, if you like. Yeah, I mean, this team is very capable of using this and then going on that wonderful League One-esque run where they go to Norwich and they beat them like they did Peterborough last year, where they host Southampton and they beat them, the way they went to Oakwell and beat Barnsley, the way they went to Bolton and won there. They're very capable of doing that type of run. But equally, this is a sort of result which can take a little bit of time to go through, and you haven't got that time anymore where you suddenly play a resurgent Wednesday, albeit they lost against Leeds, but you know, they're resurgent, they're after points themselves, and so it can go one or two ways. And you know, as fans, we want it to be the right way. But it's such a blow. If you'd lost it 2-1, goals in 63rd and 81 minutes or whatever, it's still not great, but it's softer than it is.
Yeah,
the way it was.
Well, even a draw, you'd have been disappointed, but at least you're taking something away, aren't you? And it's probably good in a way. We've got Wednesday next week, then you've got a 2-week break, haven't you? And you can reset, you can rest up, because it's very unforgiving. The Championship, you know, Look, we've gone to Plymouth, then we've had a midweek game. I don't want to use this as an excuse, but
we do look leggy, Rich. You can't. I'm not even going to get away from that.
I agree.
Particularly in midfield,
but it's a hard league. Every game, like last season. No disrespect to some of them teams that we're playing, but you could play. Yeah, teams like that. You probably could play at 75-80% in some of them games, and you get away with it. Whereas in this league, we didn't. But yeah, look, it's like Lee Anderson said in the post match yesterday. It is fine margins, Martin. It is. It is what it is. You know, you got to suck it up. You got to suck it up. It's like Simon says there. It was sapping on minds and legs, because I know we all enjoy these games like Tuesday night at like Rotherham, but emotionally that has to take it out of the players. It has to. I know you're on a high when you win, but they're only human beings like me and you and everybody watching, you know. So tired minds, tired legs, you know. And it was like, and I know in hindsight, people are saying he should have kept Kiefer Moore on the pitch. But Kieran said yesterday he'd run his race. Maybe reflecting today, he probably thinks possibly he could have kept him on, because, you know, for the set piece, not for the set. I can see why he's.
I did say yesterday.
I can see why he's made the change, because you're 1-0 up away from home. You're bringing on. I don't agree that it should have been Travis, because at that time we're looking for a goal, and we're 0-0, and we're wanting to take the game to. That's why he's brought Jack Taylor on, who played a role in the goal. He's played a really good ball into.
And he can defend, Jack Taylor. Not like he can't defend.
It's easy to say he should have done this, he should have done that, you know. But you just got to simply defend your box, Martin. Just simply defend your box. Don't switch off at certain times. When you look at both of them goals, the first goal yesterday, that should be Harry Clark on the guy who heads it back in. Every day of the week, it's Amari, and he's like, he doesn't even really make a challenge, does he? He's wrong side of him. But then if you look at that, if you follow, is it Whittle who scored the goal? Their captain?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think so.
If you watch it, he's Sam Morsey's man. He runs off Morsey, and Morsey goes back in where Wolfenden and Burgess are, and Morsey doesn't really need to be there, you know? If he's where he probably should be, the goal doesn't happen. But look, it's if buts and maybes. Like Steve Parry said, it is captain hindsight.
But it is also fine margins, because, you know, as I said to you in the WhatsApp group after the game yesterday, when I was watching the highlights back, that their second goal is obviously I'm not in the camp, but from the outside looking in, it looks like a communication error off the bench during the game, because you've got 3 substitute players around 1 Cardiff defender, attacker, and the goal scorer is left all alone. From the moment the ball is kicked, he's literally stood
for
having a tea pie.
for me, the ball comes in. Harry Clark's got to get out quicker.
But he's
the man
zonal
on the-
mark him. But he's
Yeah, but
zonal
he's the-
mark him.
He's not. He's the man on the goalpost. He's the man on the goalpost.
If
The
you
ball's
watch the
in.
set piece.
I think he should be closer to where he puts it in. It's these little margins that you have to get right. And people say, look, we've been poor, and we are probably. I think we're probably poor. One of our Achilles' heels is dealing with balls in the box. I think, and I don't think it's a surprise that Cardiff scored from a set piece. When you think, like, what were they? I think they're the top scorers. They had 18 goals before yesterday from set pieces. But yeah, it isn't the defeat, because we're all going to. We know we're going to lose it. It's the manner, isn't it? It's the manner of the defeat that leaves you really, really sore when you're watching it. Either you're there or you're on the telly, or it's a sickener. But you've got to put it behind you. You've got to park that very, very quickly, and you've got to be on it on Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday. Full house. Yeah. Wednesday will come there they'll sell out their allocation. We need to put it right, because you're going into that break with 2 weeks, and you need to go in with a win. Yeah, you can't go defeat. You don't want a defeat or a draw. You don't want that hanging over you, because you still got you stewing on that for 2 weeks, and you're waiting for that next game. Get a win, get some rest, and then you've got 8 massive games, to attack and see where we finish. Yeah. And for the record, Ali, Harness, and Brody were the 3 I pinpointed around the one Cardiff attacker. They're the 3 subs. I don't know if it was a off the bench thing, but that's just a by the by. But I think you're right there in terms of how you go into the international break. More so, or equally, just as important, to apply pressure, because you don't want Leeds and Leicester not letting up, but playing relaxed. Yeah. You don't want them knowing, we've got a 2-game cushion on town, because they start to relax as football players. And when football players relax, they play their best games. It's when they're tense that slips and trips in the race will occur. We need to keep that pressure up, because that's where Leeds will fall apart again, as the song goes. Well, I've said that before. I think we always need, as far as I'm concerned, keep it in that 1-game buffer. If it goes to 4 or 5 points with the games you got left, because they're running out really quickly now, that's probably going to be too much, because then, there's no margin for error really now. You think when you look at that table, that what it could have been today, Gov, it could have been a point behind Leicester. They drew at Hull yesterday. You have to think that Leicester don't play next Saturday as well, because it's the FA Cup, I think. So their game's cancelled, which was the Southampton game. So if we can win and we can get to within a point of them, that puts a little bit more pressure on them as well, because they've still got to go and win that game. It's Southampton. Right. Kevin Keegan. All right. But you have to look at it like that. And I think after the international break, when we play, we're playing, I think, before Leeds a lot of the times on the TV. So apart from maybe the Norwich game, that's an early game as well. So that gives us a little bit of a chance to put a bit of pressure on them as well, if you can win your game. But there's going to be loads of twists and turns, I think, before the end of the season, because if Town can play their part, certainly. So. Yeah, you just need to hang in there now. Get a result Saturday, and everyone will be. They won't forget about this, because if you fall a point or 2 short, people are probably going to look back on this game, aren't they? They're probably going to think, but it is over the season, and we've had a wonderful season. This is a little bit like Charlton last season when we done the show. It didn't matter in the end, did it? No, it didn't. So we're hoping that this doesn't, and it could. In a way, it could be a little bit of a wake-up call, and use a negative as a positive. Yeah. Going into them final 9. Rob Holmes' perspective: the last 4 games in 10 days. Cardiff 3 home games and 1 short away trip to Bristol. We'd have 2 long away games, and it showed us they look fresher than us. Nathan Stegel was positive from yesterday. Great to see Kiefer Moore score. Great goal as well. It's his old club, and great noise from the travelling blue and white army. We'll be back to winning ways at Portland Road on Saturday. That's a little bit while at the time I hated the sub, Rich, because just before he's coming off, he's chasing loose balls out of my box like a man possessed, like a man that's playing against his old club and doesn't want to lose this game, and he'd rather kick his grandma. Like Travis, and I just thought at the time, I want that up front, because I want that tenacity. But then you've got Ali, who you're going to bring on at the end there, who can run his heart out, and he's got the pace. He didn't get in the game yesterday, but we didn't control the game, did we? We didn't get hold of that ball in the last 10 minutes and pass it, and we did get a bit deeper, and we did have a lot. When the stands come full time, but we did have a lot. We did have a lot of attacking players on the pitch, didn't it? We did, but. Yeah, it was very un-Ipswich-like, because I think it's a bit like, you can't keep scoring on them late goals and be happy, because sooner or later it will turn around, and you'll just have to take it on the chin and get on with it. But we have managed we manage games better now, don't we? I think, other than yesterday.
We just looked like a boxer in the 12th round that's legs had gone, not because he'd been hit on the chin, but because he's lost his legs through cardio, through fatigue, and it was literally hanging on for that points decision, and we couldn't do it. And I thought a goal was coming. I felt it because we were just
way had the chance before, didn't they? When it was 1-0, and Dowder at the back post, he probably should score that. But just use this if it has to be the playoffs and you get in a position like this, use it as a positive. And we don't want to feel like this again. You know, you don't. It's a horrible feeling, isn't it? Because football's a game of like highs. It's massive highs and massive lows. And yesterday, we ain't had many of these under Kieran, have we? You know, they're very, very few and far between. You know, so he speaks really well, though. You listen to him after the game, and he puts everything in perspective, and you just think, yeah, look, it's a defeat. It's disappointing, but just got to move on quickly. Just move on quickly, and like you say, don't let it affect you going forward. Get the win Saturday, and then just hang in there with the final 8 games. And look, we've got some tough tests to come. We have got some tough away games when you think of it, and you've got Southampton at home, but we shouldn't be fearing anybody, Martin, you know? I did think we looked a bit tired yesterday. We probably do need to get to the break, and maybe next week you need to freshen up the team a little bit in midfield. I think that's probably an area where I'd look to freshen it up. People saying about bringing Tuanzebe back into the centre-backs position, but Axel played against Leeds. I remember Axel playing against Leeds, and he was bloody useless. So
yeah, well, a lot. As our Leeds fan in the chat says, if Leeds could play you every week, would have won the league by now.
Yeah, but it's
which is a fair point because we weren't great.
You have to do your jobs as a team. You know, you have to do your jobs as a team. And I know people they'll signal out the centre halves, maybe Harry Clark and whatever, but it's a team game. It's like that for that second goal. When that ball comes in, you've got 3 people around that ball. One of you has to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're right. And Morsey, obviously, you know, as said, every time we've had a knock, we've come back stronger, or something along those lines, according to the TWT website this morning. Which, you know, it's a very fair point. This group has always, and a lot of our 3-word reviews, which I love reading every week. So thank you for doing those on social media. Have had resilience in the term, or a lot of, you know, that they will come back. And this is a group you can probably trust will be resilient because they've shown it every time.
So what do we have last season? 4 defeats in the league. We've had 5 this season. You know, we've never lost a back-to-back league game under McKenna, touch wood. So hopefully that doesn't happen next Saturday. But they are resilient and they know how to bounce back. And I'm pretty sure we'll all get down there next Saturday at Portman Road. And look, Wednesday need the points. Everybody needs the points. So it's like Darren says there, it is a taste of our own medicine, and it don't taste very nice, does it, Darren? So we've just got to
tastes terrible, doesn't
just take that and use it, and don't let it happen again, and get 3 points. And there's obviously a bit of history with Wednesday, and there after last season, so I think that'll be a lively atmosphere. But I think we're more than capable of getting a decent result next Saturday. You know, you got still got to believe in this team, because you're all going to have setbacks. It's how you react to them. We're pretty good at that, aren't we? Really, so far.
Oh, absolutely. But when and this is just a question to you. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. When do you enter must-win territory?
I think it's must-win now, because it is with the position they were in. We could have gone into the 80-point mark yesterday. You know, we could have been on 81 points, and you're thinking, blimey, and you don't have an opportunity many times. We've won 6 on the bounce. You could have created a bit of club history there with 7 wins. But yeah, it's football, Gov. It's mad, isn't it? When you're watching that game and you're thinking, we haven't played well. We're going to get a 1-0 win, and we're going to move on to the next game. And within a blink of an eye, the game's gone, and you're all just thinking, what actually happened there? You know, but how can we do that better next time when we get in that position? What can we do different? People would say defend better. You could say go and score another goal to make it easier, but we didn't. We lost. Fair play to Cardiff. No. They put us under pressure. Them 10. Well, what was it? 79 minutes. So you've played a good over 20 minutes extra, haven't we? 20 minutes from the 79th minute. Obviously, you had the injury time, and it's a sickener, but
it is. I've got Frank coming in shortly. I'm going to bring him in. I know he's been waiting patiently since the start of the show. So Frank, I really do appreciate that. Trevor says you have to be looking for 3 points every game until the end, which is very true. We can easily go on another 6-game winning run, says Stephen Parry, which is very true. Talking of sort of Kiefer Moore, who I thought had a fairly standard centre forwards quiet game except the goal, but he had the great opportunity in the first half. And the Sky commentary team almost felt he should have gone with
The
a more
flick.
conventional volley instead of the flick.
Was
Where
that Don
are you
Goodman?
on that?
Was that Don Goodman,
Yes.
the Ipswich?
Yeah.
I wouldn't take no notice what he said.
Notoriously creative player was Don Goodman.
But he's right what he said on Friday. He came in for a bit of criticism, Don Goodman, about Town's defensive record. And he's correct.
How can you defend how can you defend our record? You can't.
You can't.
So how could you say he was wrong?
But I think people say, "Oh, he's anti-Ipswich." He ain't. He's just giving an opinion. He is. But look, that's
no. He's pro. He's pro storyline, isn't he? As he's a broadcaster.
They all are. They love the story. They love the story. That was part of the story yesterday, wasn't it? Really, it's another layer.
Of course it was.
It's another layer to it. Could he have done?
Because they're selling to the neutral fan, Rich. Sorry to cut across you. They're selling to the neutral fan. They're not selling to Ipswich Town fans or Leeds fans. They're selling to the neutral. This is why you should be invested in watching this. So I take what they say with a very small, minuscule pinch of salt. They're just selling the theatre, the cinema of it, aren't they?
Yes, because that's what they want, isn't it? They want people.
Exactly.
They want people. Exactly. They want people tuning in.
But people treat it like Don Goodman should be a Town season ticket holder who should sell his tickets on the resale platform. Like
pound admin fee, by the way, £1 admin fee, everybody.
What a disgrace!
I'm surprised it's only £1, to be quite honest.
Well, so am I, to be fair. Yeah. I did say, yeah.
But could he have
should it
done
be
differently there, Kiefer? He could have possibly flicked it, but the goal he scores, I mean, it's like you said yesterday, it's Premier League quality, isn't it? Yeah, Paul Merson. Good, yeah. Paul Merson did give some praise, Mike, on Sky the other day. But yeah, Moore didn't have a lot of the goal to aim at, did he? I know they were saying, possibly the keeper could save it. The keeper's got no chance there. He's literally put it in that, probably the only position he could score, just inside that post. Yeah, he's hit it with pace. Premier League finish, 6 goals in 9 games? And he didn't have the best game yesterday. But then nobody really did they? Nobody was a standout. When you look at it, it was an average game and it was an average performance. And it probably, if you're looking at the game overall, probably a draw would have been a fair result there. But it wasn't. But Kiefer Moore, not 6 in 9. Hopefully he can stay fit. Remaining games.
But should he go more conventional with that effort than trying the cheeky flick?
He could try and possibly. But if it comes off, we're all saying, "What?"
Well, of course you are. That's anything, though, isn't it?
It's a quick. He's got to move his feet quick, isn't he? Really, he's got to make a quick decision.
By the way, I've been impressed with his feet, particularly for that goal. Again, it's underrated. But if you go back and watch that goal, the way he shifts it from his right to his left is really good. And people say, "Oh, but that's a football player." But how many times do you see a player get into the 6-yard box and their touch lets them down? Their touch is the killer that creates that ruins the chance that could have been. His touch yesterday there, no hesitation. And I said last week, the guy who's been coaching him or who's been coaching him over his career, it all works to him because he's a much better technical player than I remember him being the first team.
Well, you say the chance. It weren't a chance, was it?
No, he makes it himself.
He makes it himself.
With his touch, yeah.
Gets it out of his feet. It's a great strike. Look, he's impressed me. Am I surprised? Probably not really, because we've all seen him play and evolve as a player. It's
not me.
Well, you don't watch
that would involve looking at him. It's just down bubble.
But he has improved, and he's scored goals everywhere he's been. And would I sign him? I probably wouldn't. If I'm being honest, I don't think you can carry 2 players like that. I don't think you've got George Hurst, who hopefully... But a lot depends on George Hurst coming back from injury. A lot depends on the money. I know you don't care. You're just going to throw the money at it.
Mate. Back up the old Brinks truck. Let's go.
But, yeah, it was nice that he didn't celebrate neither, because he showed a little bit of respect to Cardiff, even though they were booing him.
Should have done.
Give it a big one. Would you have done it a big one, would you? Slide in front of the away fans.
Anytime you play an old team and you score, always give it a big one. Because they're an old team. Why are they an old team? Probably because they didn't want you. So let's go. I mean, in this case, they did want him, obviously, twice this year, apparently.
Yeah, wanted him back, didn't they?
But I've given him the big one. But I was thinking, don't judge me here, people, but I was thinking about this in church this morning. George Hurst and Kiefer Moore, as I'm listening to the sermon. And and I was thinking yesterday, really, we were crying out for a second striker like Moore, or a Hurst off Moore on, or a Moore off Hurst on. And Ali, going to be a great player for Town, got no doubt. But he's not that hold up. He's not that strong. Get it to my feet, or I'll go and challenge in the air and do what I can in terms of holding it up. For me, you need that. You need those 2 types, with an Ali being a difference maker, and Jackson, sadly, probably departing the football club. So I would go out and Kiefer Moore for me. He'd be my number 1. George had my number 2. Compete, learn off Moore as a player. Hurst, learn what angles, what touches, what positions you can take in the box, etc., to use to your advantage. Because he'd be a great player to learn from as a young player.
Look, he's still under contract for Bournemouth. I think he's got another year. So I don't know what fee. I think wages would be an issue. I really do. I think that would probably be the stumbling block. Could there be a Premier League team that get promoted? Ipswich, possibly. If we went up, we could obviously be in that conversation. But I think
is he good enough if you go up? That's where the conversation flips on its head, isn't it? Where if you go up, is that a striker you view as somebody who could keep you in the Premier League? I don't know, actually.
Possibly, you know, a lot of water.
How the conversation changes.
A lot of water to pass under the old bridge until we get to that point of the season.
Charlie wants Hurston more both up front. Tell Charlie why that will never happen, Rich.
I don't think we had to afford him, especially if we're in this league. I don't think he can carry.
Place up front, does he?
Well, no, he's not. He's not going to play them both together. They're not. Never. He's never playing two up front unless you're chasing the game like you were at Preston. The new Bash brothers. That could be the new Bash brothers. Don't talk to me about Cameron Burgess up front against Cheltenham.
How far we come?
That still tickles me. That game when they fired him up front. You got a big 6'5" centre half. They didn't put one eyeball into him. Yeah, we'll still keep it on the floor. We keep passing it around. Yeah. That's really why you've stuck him up front, isn't it?
How far we've come.
Get it in the mixer. Get it in the mixer. No, we'll still keep playing it round. Not going to happen. But look, Kiefer, look, he's got a massive part to play in between now and the end of the season. He's going to hit double figures. He's going to hit double figures, which is great. And it's great for him that he could have signed for Cardiff. They were talking it up yesterday that Cardiff were well in the mix for him. But there was unfinished business, wasn't there? You know, for him at Town, probably a little bit with the first sort of time that he was at the club. And look, he's a totally different player than he was then. And
yeah, but look what you're joining as well. As Don Goodman said yesterday, very rightfully on the commentary. Look what you're joining at Town. Your promotion chasing team. You've got more of an opportunity maybe to win something. You know, if you looked at the two projects and took the emotion out of it, Town was always the better prospect.
Yeah, but then he's got friends at Cardiff. I think he's good mates with Aaron Ramsey, and he's obviously comes from. Well, he's not Welsh, is he? Anyway, I've heard him speak. But yeah, look, I think we'll have to revisit this in the summer. If he gets us the goals and fires us to go up, and we don't sign him, we sign someone better than him. I think we're on to a winner. Could we carry two? I don't think personally, like I said earlier, I don't think you're carrying a Hurston or more in the Championship. I don't think we'll have the funds to. I think there's other areas of the team as well that I'll be looking to improve if we stayed in this division, Martin, if I'm being honest. You'd have Hurst to come back in. You'd have Ali. You might sign maybe another different sort of striker, but I don't think it'd be a more. I think it might be a younger player. So it depends. We all hope we go up. I really hope we go up, but it's just so close, isn't it?
Rich, for 4 or 5 million.
He's the one. He's the one. Maybe if you could get him, I think you wouldn't have to pay so much money. I don't know. A lot of it depends on how George Hurst comes back from his injury, because like Lewis, I think Lewis said on the Discord yesterday, that's a bad injury. You know, that's a bad injury he's had. So it might take him some time, they're saying, towards the end of the season. I'll be massively surprised if we see any of him this season. I wouldn't rush him back neither. You know, get him fit in the summer, get him fully fit and firing, and then whatever league we're in, will he lead the line? Would George Hurst lead the line in the Premier League? I don't know.
No, again, for me, no, he probably wouldn't. And you mentioned the Discord there. In case you sat at home wondering what is the Discord, it's a private server for our Patreon members, our Kofi members. So if you want to get access to that private server, you need to do one or two things. Go to our Kofi link, sign up, $4.99, cancel at any point, but you get access to the Discord for the month that you sign yourself up for, or hit the join button on YouTube, become a member. There's 2 tiers there. Again, you can cancel at any point. You are in control at all times. And then you get you go to your community tab, and there'll be a link there for you to join him. Don't wait for me. Otherwise,
he's never on there, ladies and gentlemen. You won't see him on there.
No.
Maybe you might make a guest. You might make a guest appearance every about 3 months.
The apocalypse is nigh, because there's something drastic's probably gone wrong. But the information's on the screen. And also, you mentioned an injury there to George Hurst. Well, obviously, we hope he's recovering well. When he does recover, he might want to go to Stowmarket Osteopath, see Freddie, get some good osteo work, look after the body, or some physiotherapy, because Stowmarket Osteopath do it all. 01449 613 633. Freddie's wonderful team there of osteopath and physiotherapist will look after you. Health is wealth, as they say, Rich, so don't skimp on it. Head to Stowmarket Osteopath, 01449 613 633. And all the best, Georgie boy. We do miss you. I miss Velcro, man. I love Velcro. But will he be a Premier League striker for us next year if it was there? I don't know, man.
It'd be in the squad, wouldn't he? But you'd probably... You look... you might look to
It's a long way to
upgrade
go
it.
since now. We're sitting third. You know, we've got Norwich in the playoffs, and people are running. Joe, social media last night, Rich. You'd have thought Norwich were the second coming of Barcelona. Like, oh,
But
you know, it's
Rotherham. Just beat Rotherham 5-0 at home. Well done, lads.
Yeah, but,
Oh, we did struggle, by the way, against Rotherham.
yeah, but doesn't every game is in its, you know, own...
They are 20 points behind us. Let's not beat around the bush.
It's still not. I mean, why are people scared about getting Norwich in the play? Bring it.
They're-
I love
well,
that. Let's have it.
It's just how we're built. It's how we're built, and we haven't beaten for so long. And you see what happened when we played them in December. We were a much better team than them. Did we beat them? No. Massive game coming up in a few weeks in April, Gov. That's a real... It's a red flag to me. I told you then it was a red flag. It is now, but we're going to have to go there and win. We're going to have to go there and win because it is must-win territory now. Yeah. It is. We're going to have to go there and roll them over.
I'm going to bring Frank in a second, but us fans, if we're saying about our players, Rich, and how they react from this and use this, I've got to say something. Us fans, we've also got to keep our nerve because we've got to keep Portman Road as buzzing, as confident as we can. We can't get into games like Southampton, for example, 75th minute and start getting nervy. We can't be that place. We can't be that stadium where we put the pressure because we're worried about what's going to happen in the future in terms of Norwich or second. We have to also keep our nerve.
We could be the 12th man, as they say. That, you know, that's what we're going to need maybe in a couple of these home games. You're probably going to get to what we have before, 75 minutes, and we're still not winning. But we still normally we drive them over that line. So look, it's only understandable that you get a little bit nervy.
Of course it is. I know.
As the finish line, as the finish line and the prize becomes a little bit nearer. But we need to get to that Southampton game still in the mix, having won the next two games, because that's what you're going to need to do. You know, we don't want it. Don't end the season flat. Whatever happens, it is squeaky bum time, Steve. But whatever happens, even if it has to be the playoffs, you need to go into them playoffs, Gov, with momentum. Because whoever's going to finish, if we do finish third, that sixth place team, they will probably have the momentum, and we need to match it. You know, and so look, it's a great place to be sitting going into the final 9 games, isn't it? I know yesterday's disappointing, but look, we're right there. Premier League football. Will we get there? Nobody knows.
We'll have to wait.
No one's got a crystal ball apart from Richard Chandler, who says
has.
We will be second. But no one knows what's going to happen. It'll be exciting, but we can do our bit as well. We can do our bit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was trying to say. I think you're right there, spot on. Because a lot of times in the playoffs, what you see actually is the third place team play a sixth place team. The third place team are deflated. Yeah. They're coming into it on a negative. Oh, we finished third. You know, we just missed out. And the sixth place team normally related, who have just got in there on the last day. Normally,
we've been here before under George Burley. You know, them times when we were third in the league and then we got rolled over.
But they are, and you've got to go into that, and that's why sometimes it's better to be, you know, either second by a comfy margin or fourth, because either way, you know, you
better be the hunter.
Well, that's what old Lambo said, isn't it?
There
right, we got Frank. Frank, I'm sorry I kept you waiting so long, my man. I really do appreciate you holding on. Thank you, but blame him really, because the link came early, then his washing got on, and it's all gone to pot from there. But thank you for joining us. How are you? Are you well?
Fine. Thank you, Martin. It's just a long spin. It's spinning a yarn with his washing machine. No, we're not serious. I'm fine, and we're both looking forward, obviously, to next month. And our lucky omen, Rung, is here. She's undefeated at Portman Road. That's what we need. A little bit of luck.
Oh, good.
Disappointed, obviously, with the result yesterday. It wasn't the way we had anticipated it going, especially after Kiefer Moore had scored. I mean, there was something there, though, wasn't there? I just had an inkling that it was just going. It was too good to be true, and we've had many of those days, haven't we, during the course of the season? But it was just the way we lost. I think I don't know if it's fatigue, lethargy. I think we could apply that maybe to Luke Wolfenden more than anybody else when it comes to his lethargy. It might be a little bit of Alan Hansen in a way, but nowhere near as skillful at the moment, maybe in the future. But yeah, I like him. Oh, don't get me wrong. I think he's a cool dude, but maybe sometimes too cool for his own good, you know? That is one way of looking at it. I thought that the goals he conceded and the extra minutes, it was explained, and it's a valid argument that you have an extra couple of minutes. The minimum is 8 minutes, and it goes on to 10 because of Cardiff goal celebrations worked against us slightly when they equalised. That took probably another 2 minutes of valuable time. But it is one game, and I have a horrible feeling, and I've suggested this once or twice before, that it may go to goal difference. And I don't like that scenario because we're not in a very strong position when it comes to goal difference because we leak so many, although we score a lot. And only probably Southampton, up until yesterday, at least they had an inferior goal difference to us. But I think we're even Steven now, just about. But Leeds far, far superior in that situation. So, and Leicester, well, yeah, they have an advantage as well. So let's hope it doesn't go to goal difference. Let's hope.
The problem is,
second.
Sorry, Frank. The problem is, if it isn't goal difference you want, it's not the heads to head either, because Leeds have got us both there. So either way you look at it, either way you want to shake it, unless you want to do alphabetical order, you ain't going to go out on top on that one.
It's a bit of a nightmare scenario. I mean, it's been such a great season. It's been such a great couple of seasons, hasn't it? Let's be honest. So we should be grateful for small mercies in that respect. But I am concerned now that game yesterday, it was in our hands. We had those 3 points. We had them. And I don't know why, but I don't know if it was fatigue, a psychological thing, as Rich suggested, that we're getting nearer to the winning line. And in every sport, whether it's snooker, I know I play a bit of pool and stuff. And when you've got to pop the black, it's so much more difficult than any other ball. Why should it be? Because you know it wins you the game in pool normally. So unless you knock the white in, of course, as well. But I think every sport is like that. Getting closer to the finish line, it becomes more and more difficult. But if it's difficult for us, it's difficult for Leeds United, it's difficult for Southampton, and it's difficult for Leicester. Only got a point again yesterday. Their more recent record is very disappointing for a side that were 18 points clear just a couple of months ago. So, yeah, it's quite fascinating. I have a poem for you, by the way.
Brilliant. I want that just before I let you go, but I want to put on a few comments you've made in the backstage chat. Right, so first of all, you said Tuanzebe is a Rolls Royce of a defender when he's fully fit, far better than Harry Clark, who looks like a novice by comparison, and he probably is. Those are your words backstage when talking about the defensive issues. Sort of elaborate a little bit more on it. So you would go Axel Tuanzebe, would you, on a permanent right back?
You know, what did they say about a really good professional football? That they have time on the ball. And, well, Luke Wolf has maybe too much time on the ball. But in the case of Axel Tuanzebe, he exudes quality when you see him. His vision. Yeah, he doesn't always have a great game. But what we have to understand, and this is why he wasn't included in the side for a while, it takes time to reach that level of performance and consistency. But we all know he's got it in his locker. He's done it at Champions League level. So we should be very, very happy that we've got Axel Tuanzebe on a contract, because if he stays fit, he will get better and better, like a good wine that matures with time. I really believe that.
And I think you probably... Do you agree to the extent, Rich, where you perhaps he is your starting right back from now to the end of the season, or has Harry Clark still got that shirt for you?
I think Harry Clark comes in for a little bit of unfair criticism, if I'm honest. Axel, did he have the best game the other night? No, that Mehmeti turned him inside out on the first goal. So
true. And
I think he's got a chronic back problem as well, Frank, which I think they're probably managing. That's probably why he didn't play yesterday. Yeah. Does he come back in against Sheffield Wednesday? Possibly. You know, there's no sign of Brandon Williams. I think Kieran spoke about him on Thursday in his presser. He said he's still at Man United, so I think that ship sailed. So it might be a case of. It might be a case of just they might have to rotate it for different games, Frank. I don't know. I'm not saying Axel's not a good player. I think he's not I don't see him as a natural right back, Gov, if I'm honest. But in response to what Frank says there, he probably is a better defender than Harry Clark. Depends what you want. It depends what you want in. We want our fullbacks to bomb on, but then we see Axel. He got an assist against Birmingham, didn't he, Frank, when he set up Sarmiento? So yeah, look. It's a tricky one. I see people saying that he should come into central defence instead of Wolfenden, which I don't see happening, because I think Luke Wolfenden's played the most games under Kieran McKenna. Frank, he's played over 100 games, so Kieran trusts him. And I don't think we should be ripping it all up and moving this player out and putting this player in there. The odd change here and there. You know, this is why we got promoted last season and we went on this great run, didn't we? Because it was a consistent lineup. Yeah. You know, that night, I remember that night at Bristol Rovers when I think Broadhead was on the bench and Hurst was on the bench. And after that, apart from injuries, he got to his main 11, didn't he, Frank, and stuck with it till the end of the season. So, yeah. Quick one for Frank. Talking about the lineups. What's your thoughts on Luongo? Because he's been a little bit off it the last few games.
It's strange, isn't it? Because ever since he decided to pack in international football, his performances are really
Good
right
point.
down.
Excellent point.
It really does coincide with that, almost precisely. And I've never seen him play well for quite a few games now, even since, I think, has he had one good game since the Australian decision?
He struggled. I think it's fair to say he struggled. I think that's a very fair assessment.
I don't know why that is, really. Is it a psychological thing? Oh, well, I'm coming to the end near retirement now because I've packed in with Australia, so I'm just sort of winding down. I don't think that's in his personality. I don't think that's in his character makeup. But what it is, I'm not too sure. He's half the player he was before. Half the player he was before, in my opinion.
Good point.
Tired, Rich? Lot of games, Saturday, Tuesday.
He was ill. He was ill, and then he came back in on Tuesday against Bristol City. I didn't think he had his best game. Didn't have his best game yesterday. Look, you've signed Lewis Travis. Do you bring him in, or do you? Is it the time now, Gov, for your man? Do you unleash Jack Taylor because he gives you more going forward? There you go, Paul P. Is it time for Taylor to step up? I thought he done okay yesterday when he came on. He played a role in that goal. He's always got. He's got a goal in his locker, isn't he, Frank? You know, with he's shooting from range. But I like Lewis Travis. I think he's been quietly good. So I think he might come in Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday. But then the next game, when we go to Blackburn, he obviously can't play because he's on loan from them. So yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because they've been our mainstay for so long, Frank. That Luongo and Sam Morsey in the middle of the field, they've been so good, but. Can't keep being loyal. If a player's not performing, I think you're gonna have to take him out of the fire, aren't you, a little bit, and maybe sit him on the bench and
possibly,
yeah.
But I think also, I'm sorry. I think also that who was the man in the match for Ipswich yesterday? That's a hard one. According to those with the Day's website, it was Sam Morsey, but I didn't think Morsey played particularly well. Did anyone play?
Well, when I asked Lee Anderson, I think it was yesterday for his man in the match, he struggled to sort of, he really looked like a deer in headlights. And I said, right, man in the match, Lee. Bless him. which is fair because I don't think there was somebody who really stood out head and shoulders at that moment.
That's exactly what I thought. I didn't see one. It didn't jump out at me. Oh, he was outstanding. No. I think it was a very average team performance by Town yesterday. Apart from the fact that we got the lead. Yeah. Lady Luck seemed to be on our side. It was a wonderful goal by Kiefer Moore, 6 in 9 now. And it's interesting when you look at the stats, he is now level with George Hurst on 6 for the season. But the difference is that George Hurst gives you lots of assists. Hurst has assisted 7 goals and Kiefer Moore has only assisted 1. But the time on the field, it's 115 to 115 to 280 something. Huge difference in terms of minutes that Hurst has played. So when you take that on board, maybe that's a defence for Kiefer Moore to think again about why he isn't assisting as much. But he's not that type of player, especially, is he?
It's a cruel game. It's a cruel game, Frank, isn't it? Because we could have easily been sitting here today, sitting a point behind Leicester. It is such fine margins.
It is, indeed.
Massively.
Poetry time, Frank. A lot of people in the chat have said Poetry Corner's back and they can't wait. Go. They love it. So we're all excited. Poetry Corner, I'm talking about.
This doesn't mention Ipswich too much in it, but it mentions friendship. And you start your show, Martin, with, you're my friends, you're all my friends. You know, that's
my friend. Hello, so friend. You are my friend.
Yeah, this is dedicated to you and all the Town people that
love it.
Contribute to this show. I wrote it a while ago, but I think it sums up our allegiance, our common goal, for want of a better way of describing it. It's called the essence of a friend. The essence of a friend, my friend, is not easy to define, but once you know you have one, you will know it's for all time. They will listen to your stories. They will give you sound advice. They will let you pour your soul out, and it comes not at a price. Like a family of strangers living in on the outside, they'll support you in a crisis. It's in them that we confide. And friends can be like family. They're a rare commodity. They can turn the rain to sunshine, and they do it all for free. A friend is there to love you through the good times and the bad, and a friend is a good listener when you're feeling rather sad. To a friend, we have no secrets. To a friend, nothing's concealed. They only ask us only once, and all will be revealed. Acquaintances may come and go that are easy to resist, but a friend in need is a friend indeed, and the rest I won't have missed.
Frank, beautiful, very well put together. You've got a talent. I'm going to be honest, because I struggle to put two words together, but you've got a real talent, Frank. That's very good. Very good. Thank you for writing it. And thank you for sharing it with us.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
All the
See you
best, my
soon.
friend. Look after yourself. And you are my friend. Thank you. Nice poem there.
ITFC Wordsworth. Is that Anthony?
Well, he's better,
By the
no,
way,
he's better than Anthony Wordsworth.
he wasn't very good, was he?
He couldn't play in a 2, could he? Apparently, he couldn't play in a 3.
I remember he
I'm
scored
sure
away at Watford. Were you at Watford that day when
I
he
was,
scored?
of course, I was.
Yeah, he scored his limbs in the away end when it went in. That was we were.
That's where I got married, Rich. I was at most away games.
Yeah, I remember. Mate, I think I actually walked past you in the road there. Said hello.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Brentford, Boxing
Anyway,
Day. They
Watford.
were good times.
Quickly, what about Watford? Manager's out the door then.
What a surprise!
Hardly
As
a
nightfall as
surprise.
day, as water is wet.
Tom Cleverley in the hot
Yeah,
seat
no, that is a
until the end of the
surprise.
season.
Oh, that is a surprise. Yeah, no, that is a
Well,
surprise.
There you go.
Talking of which, you may not have been surprised yesterday. I was a little bit surprised, I'll be honest. Sarmiento in the starting lineup. What were your thoughts on his contribution yesterday? Because we got a comment in the chat in regards to him from James Hobson. Says Hobson, sorry. Sarmiento especially poor, not a starter yet.
Agree. He wouldn't have been in my starting 11. And you probably look now. Why? I know he had a little bit of injury at West Brom, but he only started 7 games there, Martin. And I'm starting to see probably now
me too.
why he comes off the bench more, because he's more of an influence, isn't he? I know it would have been McKenna-like, but I would have played Amari on the left-hand side yesterday because I think he's in form. He's obviously got the player of the month. He played there before. He scored the goal, didn't he, away at Southampton? I know he doesn't naturally play there. Could you have trusted a harness possibly in an away game like that? But yeah, I think he's played his best football off the bench in his Sarmiento, and I think that's probably, now you've got Nathan Broadhead back fit. That's probably where you'll see him playing the majority of his minutes until now, from now till the end of the season. I think, but that's probably something he needs to work on, because you don't really want that tag as a super sub, do you? Really, to follow you through your career?
Tag,
no. Well, he had a good career as being
he had a great career,
sub, but he'll want to be a starter. But yeah, he's on the periphery of games, and it also, this is I'm not saying he's not had a good season, but I've said it on here before, especially in away games. People can agree with me, they can disagree with me. Connor Chaplin, as a 10, doesn't do enough. Doesn't do enough to influence a game, as far as I'm concerned, especially away from home. A lot of
he's
them
only
games,
as good as the parts around him, though. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, but I think number 10s control games. I don't think he controls games more. If you're playing in that 10 role, look, take his goals away, which are excellent. What does he? I'm not saying at Portman Road. I'm saying away from home. A lot of them games, he gets subbed after 60 minutes. You wouldn't hardly have known he's on the pitch yesterday. Leicester away. I could reel off a lot of games when he's played and he hasn't done a lot. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh.
No, I don't think you're being harsh. I think you've got some good points there in regards to some of the games you've mentioned. But I think if you look back over the archive of which games he's performed badly in, they're the games that Town have performed badly in, because he's the talisman for me. Which is why when I see him go off the field, I hate it, because he's a goal from nowhere type of player, which at 1-0 down you want in your side. So when he went off yesterday, again, another substitution, I thought, I ain't Kieran McKenna. I'm never going to be a Kieran McKenna. But that ain't one I would have made on Football Manager. So, that's all I can go by. But I think you're right. There are some games he's not performed well in. But again, they're games where we've not performed well in. And yesterday, Sarmiento couldn't get on the ball. Could not get on the ball for love nor money, and couldn't get any foothold in the game. And as a 10, when your left winger's sort of that out of it,
true,
that's hard.
Yeah,
not just Sarmiento. Hutchins, Burns again, also really couldn't get a foothold in the game. A lot of ball to his feet, but he couldn't beat the man, or there was no support. Like the front three, I think yesterday really struggled to get a foothold in the game as a collective unit.
Yeah, but then I didn't think Keith Moore had his best game holding the ball up. So if that doesn't work, sometimes
so it's four of them then.
Yeah, I didn't think he had a great game. I didn't think.
Midfield two didn't play well either.
It wasn't a great game. It wasn't great for the neutral fan. Yesterday, was it? Watching that game, you're probably thinking there's not a lot happening here.
No.
But then you could say that the other night, the first half. The first half at Portman Road wasn't a great watch, and then it burst into life second half. So There you go. Look, Paul P says Chaplin is, but he's going to be a massive player. There you go. He's going to be massive between now and the end of the season. He's got to stand
Phil
up.
says, doesn't agree. You know, so you got a control. It's an opinion that
Hey,
splits fans.
Phil, you don't go to them away games, so button it.
Michael Brown, do you guys take Luton Town as an inspiration given they've achieved promotion to the playoffs and such a small budget, if not the smallest budget of any club to promotion to the Premier League? Which
is that the Mike Brown?
No, different Mike Brown, because Mike's also here. Look.
Would I play? No, I don't think I'll play him as a 10. I think he's more of an 8, as they said when he came on yesterday. You know, they love numbers now, don't they? He's an 8, or he's a 6, or he's a 10, he's a 9. Taylor's definitely better going forward. I feel Blondell's ringing me, by the way. You know, there's no good ringing me during the show, Phil. I'm not going to answer. Not like the other night. What was the question? Did
you take inspiration from Luton? Was from Michael Brown, or you got Mike the Fisherman? Was the other one? There's two questions.
Luton, fantastic story. You know, by the way, Luton. Did anybody see Ross Bartley's nose yesterday?
No,
oh my lord, he broke it quite badly. And it was a bit of a mess. I think. Look, Luton. There was no expectation on Luton. There's no expectation on Town, really, is there? You know, when we started the season. You know, expectation grows. Expectation obviously grows as you go through the season, and now you're sitting third. And there'll be some people out there who are disappointed because we were in second for so long. I'm not disappointed where we're sitting at the minute. We're still right in the mix, and we're not going away. And I know we're disappointed from yesterday, but whatever route we have to take, if it takes the playoffs to get out of this league, so be it. You know, but. Yeah, I think you can use Luton as an inspiration because nobody thought they were going to do it, and it's probably going to change them as a football club. You know, they can now build their new ground. If we can get up, it'll change the faces of our football club, Gov, for years to come. You know, it'll give you more finances, and we might be up there for a year and we might come back down, but it does change, and then you're going to have better players. And I think I'm really fascinated to see how it evolves over the summer, whatever league we're in, because I think even if we go up, we're going to have to. Well, you watched that yesterday. That defence would get ripped a new one, wouldn't it, in the Premier League? But even so, if we didn't go up, I still think there's going to be a turnover of players, and you're going to have to be cruel to be kind. I think to certain individuals now, because you're seeing we've come so far. And we all love this squad, and we've said it on here before, and they achieved something that no one's ever achieved, that a lot of fans have never seen before. But football's very unforgiving, and you have to keep moving, and you have to keep moving along, because it'd be harder next season, because we won't be the unexpected package.
No, if
we're still in this league, you know, if we're in the Premier League, we can go up there and we can enjoy it, you know. But if we're in this league, it's going to be no shock to teams, and it's even now when you see how these teams set up, Gov. You know, yesterday. They put that block in, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they say, go on then, Town. Whereas there'll be certain games, like when we go to Carrow Road in a couple of weeks' time, Norwich I don't think can play like they did when they come to Portman Road, because Norwich need to win that game. They need to win that game as much as Town do that day. You know, Southampton will come. Southampton will come to Town. They'll attack. You know, Sheffield Wednesday, even them. They probably 3 points now are massive, whatever end of the table you're sitting at, you know. Point now and again can be a good result, but it's 3 points, Gov, that's going to get any team to where they probably want to go. If you're fighting relegation or if you're looking to get promoted at the other end. So we're in for some very good games, and one thing it won't be, and one thing it never is now watching Town, it won't be boring.
No.
It had been boring for so many years, and even though we're frustrated here this afternoon, we're frustrated yesterday, it wasn't a boring end. The game wasn't great, but there's always something happens in the Town game to talk about, isn't there?
Absolutely. Sam House says Evolve would be extinct. Many have said like at least 6 or 7 players living in the summer, whatever happens. And I've said to you many times, and I'll stick by it. Promotion, you have to, as a club, maybe more so than a fan, but as a fan, I look at it this way. I take a 3 to 5 year view on promotion. I view it as you go there, you almost play weakest link. You bank the cash. You bring in better players. You come back down to be the big fish in the small pond, like a Leicester and a Leeds. You bounce back, but each time you bounce back stronger and stronger until eventually there isn't such a huge gap between you coming into the league for the first time as it was 3 years down the line when you've got better players and you've got a better system, etc. Which is why when I know it was fake news when the fake news was going around about Burnley sacking Company. I was gobsmacked because I don't know what teams expect when they get promotion. You're gonna get beaten more times than you win because it's not the gap it was in 2000 when Venus and McGrill could be your centre halves. They're good players as they were. The gap is huge. The gap is fucking massive. You're going to take Nottingham Forest had to spend over £100 million to try and bridge it, and even then, have they tasted 10th once in the 2 years they've been?
They're in
there?
the lower reaches. They're just they're just about keeping their heads above water. They are. That's how hard it will be if you get out of this league. It's under no illusions. If we go up, it's probably you're going to have more bad days than good. You know that, but we got to get
at least
there
you're on match the day early. So
Yeah, but when you've like Sheffield United, you've lost for the 4th time at home. You've just let 6 in. He's grating me, that Chris Wilder. I mean, what a numpty he is. I used to like him. He talks utter. Oh, don't give me that.
To be fair, he's got a point. I mean, they're not bottom, are they? To be fair,
he said they're talking about Luton as though they're in Europe.
Yeah, but to be fair, he's got a point. Like I've heard Sheffield United being called the worst team ever, but yet somehow they are not bottom.
It's just a manner of they've been getting absolutely pumped at home, haven't they? I suppose in them games. I used to like him. I went off him when he started talking about that assistant referee who was eating his sandwich when he came in his room after the Palace game. And I thought, he said, "Do you know who I've managed over 1,000?" I'm thinking, piss off. I'm not having you. Sorry. We could be bumping into them next year. Will the teams who come down, if we're in this league next year, be as strong? I don't think so. There's not a Leeds and a Leicester coming down, is there? Let's be fair.
Oh no. But even if it was bottom 3 as it is right now, Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United, they're not 3. They're not Leeds, Leicester, and Southampton. And have they got the players they can sell to go on and bring a 4 or 5 players on? Because that's what Southampton did, or in the summer, wasn't it? They sold 1 or 2, or Leicester sold 1 or 2, and
it's probably a bit of an anomaly, wasn't it? Them 3 getting relegated last season. When you think of the talent that they had at their disposal, and how much Leicester they were selling players, and Southampton was selling James Ward-Prowse and other players for 50 million.
Yeah, exactly. The fact Mike D says could be Forest or Everton shows just as I said a second ago that how big the gap is. If Forest have been that much money in 2 years and still are trying to starve off relegation, make no illusions, it's going to be a huge task. Whoever goes up out the 4 teams, because Leeds and Leicester, they might be good in this level, big fish, small pond, but they proved it last year. They're not brilliant at the top table, so they'll fight just as difficult. It's the gap. It is what it is. But we're done for today. Unless you've got anything else you wish to come to the party.
No, I think we're about done, haven't we? We've just got to keep positive. I think we've had quite a positive show, really. I know sometimes on here you can lose your shit a little bit, but
they're more match reactions because they were doing the moment, doing that secular moment where you're in it.
Bigger picture, I think after yesterday, it's a case of what might have been. We just all get down to Portman Road next Saturday. Wednesday fans will come. They'll make some noise. We just got to bring the noise, bring the energy, and we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Will it be enough to get over the line? In the end, nobody knows. Nobody knows, but it's just small margins, and there's not a lot of margin for error now because after yesterday, you could afford possibly 1 more defeat in them remaining 9 games, but you're going to have to win the majority of them games now. I did say. Yeah. I think 99 points. I think you're going to have to get in the high 90s to get in the top 2, and we're going to get over 90 points whatever happens. So we could have 4 teams. You could have 4 teams quite easily, Gov, in the 90-point markers. So whoever misses out, it's going to be a bit harsh, but then you just have to take your chances in the playoffs and more excitement, more tension, but more to talk about. So we just have to wait and see where we end up going. But yeah, I'm confident we'll win on Saturday, and then we can have the 2 weeks off and go and put our feet up.
All right, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all that wonderful business. That's been the Cruncher. Thank you to the people who clicked the link.
I'm off to clear up my apple juice now, which I've been swimming
sticky
in
all over your desk. We'll leave that hanging. Right,
5.
Catch you later. All the best.